guys, it's Angel. Welcome back. Today is the day we are going to be talking about the Apple Watch Series 4. And I'm super excited because I have two Apple Watches to share with you guys. I've got the one that I'm wearing now, which I got on launch day, and it's the 40mm in stainless steel gold. It is so beautiful. And I also have a 40mm in the aluminum gold color. So if you're interested in all things Apple Watch Series 4, keep watching. All right, so this is the box that it comes in. This one is the Series 4 gold aluminum case in the pink sand sport band. And this is the 40mm size with the GPS and cell option. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this box is it looks very similar to last year's Series 3 box. It is a little bit shorter, but inside it is super pretty. It's really colorful, and it's actually the first time that I've seen Apple use different colors in their watch or any of their packaging, so that's kind of different, but it's really cool looking. And inside, after you open it up like that, you've got the watch itself here, and it comes with a band. So this particular one came with the pink sports band, and they had other choices, but I figured go with the pink. Now let's check and see what's inside here. So inside you've got the Designed by Apple in California charging brick, along with the charging adapter. And here, I think this is actually really cool looking. They've actually just kind of put the watch inside this little microfiber protective sleeve. I hope I don't drop this. That is the gold color, in the aluminum, of course. I am wearing the stainless steel, and if you're wondering what the difference is between the stainless steel and the aluminum, price difference wise, the stainless steel was $6.99 and the aluminum was $4.99. Now that of course is for the GPS and cellular option watches. But there's tons of new features, so I definitely wanted the GPS and cellular option on my watch. Now, if you're wondering, I initially, on launch day, was going to buy the aluminum watch. I've always had Apple Watches that were aluminum, and I always thought the splurge for the stainless steel or the ceramic was just a little bit too much for me. But when I went on launch day and I literally tried on the stainless steel, I picked it up and I was just wowed by it. Because if you tried the stainless steel watches like the Series 3, I felt like it was kind of bulky and like almost too heavy on my wrist. And I have pretty thin wrists already, so I didn't want anything to be like, you know how sometimes you can be like, oh, I'm wearing a phone or something bulky and chunky on my wrist. So the stainless steel is totally not like that. Things are bigger. There's also kind of that edge-to-edge display. Whether or not you intend to purchase the stainless steel, I just think it's really worth a try. Oh, and one thing about the bands is that, thank you Apple for this, but even though they've changed the sizes of the watch, all the bands are interchangeable. So all my old bands that I had purchased, I can still use them for the new Apple Watch Series 4. So again, big thank you to Apple for that, because that would have been annoying to have to buy all new bands. This is what the watch looks like up close. Now, with the exception of the outer bezel here, the stainless steel and the aluminum both look the same. So because again, I got the GPS and cellular option, there is, look on that, the dial right here. Instead of that big glaring red dot in your face, there is now more of a classic red circle outline, which is also pretty nice. And on the back, a big upgrade is that there's this black ceramic and sapphire crystal on the watch. And size-wise, compared to the Series 3, the Series 4, the display is about 30% larger, so you do get a lot more screen real estate. And you'll notice that when you're viewing things like email and also for the watch faces. And also thanks to the new iOS, there are tons of new watch faces that are pretty cool looking. All right, now let's talk about the features. What's new in Apple Watch Series 4 and why should you upgrade? So the two options that I thought were really interesting and I wanted to test out for myself, one is the fall detection and the second one is the EKG feature. Now the fall detection feature is just as it sounds. So if you're wearing your watch and it detects that you've fallen down, it will first ask you on your watch whether or not you're okay. It's detected a fall and are you okay? And if you don't respond, it will go ahead and send out an emergency call to 911 And if you have emergency contacts added to your watch, it will go ahead to detect those contacts that they've detected a fall, and then you can follow up as needed. Now, I think that's really cool. My grandmother fell earlier this year and she fell backwards. She was in her bedroom, unfortunately hit her head on the corner of a wooden dresser, and she bled a lot, and we had to take her to the ER to get stitches, but luckily my grandfather was there. Unfortunately, he didn't call me for about 10 to 15 minutes. I think part of that was he was really scared for my grandmother. He was trying to help her up. And I'm not gonna say things maybe would have been better if she had the Apple Watch on, but if she did fall and she had the Apple Watch on and the Apple Watch detected a fall, it would have done two things. One is to call 911 right away, and they may have had some sort of language barrier communicating, but at least I would have been pinged and notified earlier that my grandma fell and I could have done something. So that's something that's really interesting to me, and so I want to try this out myself and just kind of test out the new watch and the features to see if that's something that might work for her. Second feature is the EKG, which basically helps you detect whether or not you have AFib or atrial fibrillation. And I think that's a really cool feature, at least for someone like me, whose family has a history of heart disease and has a history of atrial fibrillation or AFib. So those two features that are definitely like the life alert kind of health portion of the watch are two features that were super interesting to me. Another new feature that's part of the Apple Watch 4 is the walkie-talkie. You basically need a friend who has the Apple Watch and has the walkie-talkie feature activated and turned on. So you add them to your walkie-talkie app, and once they've accepted, you then press talk to them. Now, to be honest, I've tried it and I thought it was a little bit buggy at first, but that may have been user error. In all honesty, it's kind of an interesting, quirky feature. I'm not sure I would run out and go buy the watch for the walkie-talkie feature. The reason being is because when you talk to somebody in walkie-talkie mode, it's kind of hard to have a continuous two-way conversation with them, to have to continuously press and then have that transmit and then wait till they respond. I found myself actually, when I tried this the other day with a friend, we were like talking over each other. We wanted to say something after one of us was like, oh, hey, yada, yada, yada. And then I wanted to follow up with something, they wanted to follow up with something, and it was just kind of like, doesn't really work that well in walkie-talkie mode. Another thing that I would worry about or basically be cognizant of is what happens when you're at work and you're in a meeting and you didn't switch it from available to not available. Basically, you could be sitting in a meeting and your kids could be walkie-talkieing you and you don't know what they're gonna say, and it's just gonna come out of your watch. So it's fun, but I'm not sure how practical it is in real world usage. Kind of like Animojis, if you know what I mean. Another upgrade in the Series 4 is the digital crown. So we've got the digital crown here, but in the Series 4, now they've integrated haptic feedback. So when you turn the digital crown, you will feel that kind of tick, tick, tick. And I think that's kind of cool. It makes the watch seem more real, I guess. More lifelike? I don't know how to describe that. But yeah, I am liking the haptic feedback. Another cool option is the raise to talk. Hey Siri.
Yes?
Turn off the lights.
You got it. Coming right up.
That's the one thing when you have your phone and your watch here at the same time, they kind of need to fix that. I'll try to hide my phone here. Hey Siri, turn on the lights.
You got it. Coming right up.
Thank you. Okay, well Siri, I guess, is having a day off. So you get the point. Oh, and one more thing, she's basically 50% louder than before. So if you're talking with somebody on the phone or you're talking to Siri and Siri's talking back, you can control the volume and she's louder than before, which is kind of nice because I felt like in the Series 3, even though everything was working and I could hear properly, being 50% louder really helps, especially if you're driving in the car or in some outdoor noisy area. So with all the good things about the new Apple Watch Series 4, what are things that I didn't like? The one thing that I thought they could have done better and I was a little bit disappointed in was the battery life. So it's got about the same battery life as my old watch, but 18 hours really isn't enough. I've kind of been in the habit to wear my watch overnight so I can monitor my heart rate, and the only time I really have time to charge my watch now, because I do wear it overnight, is when I wake up and I'm brushing my teeth, or before I go to bed and I'm in the shower. And that's not really a lot of time to charge, but I get away with it, and I've only had a couple times where it hit that 10% power reserve notification. You guys know what I mean. So please, Apple, if you hear this for the next watch, the Series 5, could you please do a little bit better on the battery life? 2 days I think would be great. That would be enough so you could sleep with it on overnight and get you through the next day without having to charge. Oh, and there is one more thing, and I don't think this is more about the watch itself, but if you do get the GPS and cellular version of this watch, you do have to pay an extra like $10 for your carrier. I think it's $10 on auto pay with mine, but it's kind of annoying to have to pay in addition to your cell phone plan, the additional $10, but that's not an Apple thing, that's a carrier thing. So hopefully they will change that and maybe give it as a free bundle in your cell phone plan. We can only hope. But overall, yes, I am really happy with my Apple Watch Series 4 purchase. I am glad they made this a little bit bigger, going from the 38 to 40 millimeter, and I'm so glad they made it in the stainless steel gold color with the larger edge-to-edge display. I'm also waiting to try out the EKG feature once Apple comes out with that, hopefully in the fall, and the fall detection. Speaking of fall detection. I'm gonna try it out. Hopefully I will never have to use it, but if I do, it'll be interesting to see how well it works. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and up-close review of the Apple Watch Series 4. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And I know you guys always have questions, so if you have questions about my Series 4 watch, I will be hanging out in the comments below for about 30 minutes after I upload this video. So if you do have any questions, feel free to post. Until then, take care guys, I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.